Hello, welcome to this presentation about A-Level Media Studies here at Accrington Academy. My name is Mr Calvert and I am the BTEC GCSE and A-Level Media Studies teacher. The course we offer is the EduCAS A-Level in Media Studies. It covers a wide range of topics within media. We'll be looking at things like film, television, magazine production, podcasts, radio and newspapers. Our students go on to a wide range of different courses afterwards, including academic courses and practical courses, and also apprenticeships within the media. We have a Bespoke Media Studies classroom, that's room 226, which is a large classroom with 33 computers. We've got a range of video recording equipment. We have access to bespoke software, and we're really well set up to give you a clear grounding in the media. The first big question you should be asking yourself is, why should I study media studies? Well, I think there's some really clear and important reasons why the study of media is so important in our contemporary world. The media plays a really central role in our culture, our society and our politics. It shapes our perceptions. It informs us about the world through the representation, ideas and points of view it offers. It's incredibly relevant to our daily lives. We have encounters with the media hundreds of times a day, whether we know it or not. And it provides us with ways to communicate, to express ourselves culturally, and to participate in different aspects of society. That's been particularly important through this lockdown. We've all relied heavily on the media to fill our time and to inform us, to keep us up to date with what's going on in the world. Just to drag us out of boredom some days. We've all logged onto Netflix and binged a series. It's incredibly important to all of our lives. But there's another side to it, and that's the fact that the economic importance of the media is absolutely unquestionable. It's one of the largest employers in the country and the world, and it generates such an enormous amount of profit. It's a hugely profitable industry. The globalised nature of the contemporary media and ongoing technological developments mean that the media is only going to continue to be important, but actually grow in importance as we rely on it so much more in our day-to-day lives. It's how we interact with the world, it's how we interact with each other, and it's how we find out what's going on around us. There are a number of skills that you absolutely need if you're going to shine in media studies, and here are some of them. The first one I would always go to is teamwork. When you're working in the media, more often than not you're working with other people, and there has to be a kind of a synergy between people. There has to be a working relationship that's built on teamwork and professionalism. It's massively important, cannot ever be understated. But you also need technical ability. You need to learn the skills you require and the knowledge that you need to get the job done. If you're going to be an editor, you're going to have to learn how to edit. If you want to be a camera operator, you need to know how cameras work. You need to know how to get the very best out of the technology. You need to be a problem solver. A lot of times within media studies, particularly when you're working on a practical production, you're thinking on your feet, you're figuring out how to make things work, you're solving problems on an almost constant basis. So being a quick thinker and a problem solver, an improviser even, is hugely important. You need to mix that with some time management. All the productions you've seen on TV and in film and wherever else, everything runs to a deadline in the media, and it's hugely important. We are all obliged to meet deadlines. In our industry, people are waiting to see that thing you're making, so your time management needs to be absolutely spot on. For that to happen, you need to also be organised. You need to know how to plan your work and schedule your work. That's something that we do a lot of work on within media studies to prepare you to go into the industry as an organised human being who can make things happen. You also need to be an excellent communicator. Media studies is first and foremost about communication, how we communicate ideas and beliefs to the world, how we present stories. You might need to be able to write. Well, you definitely need to be able to write. You might have to give speeches and presentations. Quite normal in the industry. So you need to be able to show you have written communication skills. You need to be able to write clearly and convincingly. Your job as somebody who works in the media is to present things to the world. Yeah, you're representing people, ideas, stories, and you need to be able to do that confidently. For me, one of the most important things you need to be in the media is creative. You need to be able to produce products that are going to make people want to engage with them. So you might need specific artistic or design skills. You might need an excellent imagination. You might be able to figure out how to bring a story to life. But creativity is at the core of what we do in media studies. You need to be successful in media studies, a real focus on your attention to detail. Everything we do in the media is about fine detail. It's about making sure that the finished product, whatever it is we're making, is finished to a really, really high standard. So your attention to detail needs to be significant. You need to bring all that together with some discipline. You need to do what's expected of you. Okay, that's organising yourself, being on time, being responsible. You need to be able to persevere when things get tough, because sometimes you're working on a project and it's not going the right way, and the only thing to do is to get your head down and push through it and figure out how to make it work. So that's a really important thing. And finally, literacy. It's really important. So a large part of media at A-level is writing essays, giving presentations, and preparing yourself for exams where you're going to be asked really tough, robust questions. You need an excellent standard of spoken and written English, and you need to be able to spell, use punctuation and grammar to a high standard. It's hugely important. You can't put out a media product, let's say a magazine, for example, that's littered with spelling mistakes and poor grammar. We need to be really focused on those literacy skills. With any course that you undertake, the big question is always going to be, what job are you going to get out of this? What's the end goal? And I think especially with a creative subject like media studies, people can often wonder how you're going to build a successful and profitable career. The good news is that a qualification in media studies opens so many doors to you. On your screen now you can see a basic list of jobs that you could get with a qualification in media studies, but there are so many more out there. Pretty much any industry you can think of relies on somebody in the media to help it reach an audience. A really great example, as I mentioned earlier, is let's look at this lockdown. Look at how much we've relied on things like Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime Video and things like that. Even the BBC and ITV Channel 4, whatever it might be. Whatever we've used in this time to help us get through this last year, whether it's binging things on Netflix or watching the news constantly or reading newspapers and magazines, listening to podcasts, whatever it be, somebody, and multiple people for each of those areas, somebody has had high-level media training to bring those products to you. Not just to get them onto TV or onto the internet, but also to sell them to you, to market them to you. It's hugely important. So there's so many different industries you could go into with a qualification in media studies. That is just a short list. And the good news is, for those of you thinking of going into a career in the media, the starting salaries for media-based jobs are actually really good. For people, for young people leaving university or high-level training and entering the industry, to be earning, between £21,000 and £26,000 a year is a great place to be starting. So just looking at some of those that are highlighted on the screen in front of you, those are great salaries for graduates coming out of university. You're looking at even a junior marketing job around £24,000 a year. great starting wage. Education and teaching, you go into teaching, your starting wage is just shy of £24,000 a year. Again, great starting point as a salary.